Here.
Mr. Winchhammer?
Here.
Mr. Chart?
Here. We do have a quorum. Please rise. Join us for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett?
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen?
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini?
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer?
Aye.
Mr. Chart?
All right. Motion passes. Next item of business, consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett?
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson?
Aye.
Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen? Mr. Tadalini?
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer?
Aye.
Mr. Chart?
All right. Motion passes. Next item of business, celebrations.
I have 3 celebrations that I want to highlight. One is the work that Lana Redden, Keith Yake, and Lacey Smith have done on this employee handbook. I put a couple of copies out so you can see it. A lot of time went into this. So Ms. Redden did the first hit, making sure all the content was there. Then Mr. Yake went through and refined it and helped and supported her and just continued to work on it, making sure everything was there. And then Mrs. Smith, Lacey, then added all, I call it the fluff, but it's all the additional pieces about committees and the board and just all the rest, and then made it lovely and professional and put it into this template. So just appreciate the entire team, and a lot of work and a lot of time went into this, but I think it'll be very helpful for our current employees and future employees to take all of our policies, or a lot of our G policies, and put it into practical language so that staff can go, okay, these are our benefits and how do I understand them? So just appreciate that. The second one is the instructional admin team. They were here today. They'll be here again next Monday. They started up the 25-26 school year with me at 8 o'clock this morning. And we worked on refining our strategic plan. You'll recall that back in May, we spent 2 full days together doing data analysis and writing our strategic plan. Today we refined that, and we looked at and did a data analysis on CMAS, PSAT, and SAT, and had some really good conversations about what our student needs are, and what do we need to do about that. And so just appreciated them. And then my third shout out is to Mr. Keith Yake, our Director of Finance. I have now tagged him as our Sherlock Holmes, or Dr. Holmes. He's been doing a lot of forensic accounting over the past several weeks. Well, really since March, he's been doing forensic accounting, but he has been our chief problem solver. Just being able to figure out what took place and getting things to zero out. It has been huge. I said it was a blessing on our side that his family was in Washington until this weekend, because he put in so many hours over the past 3 months. His family is now here, so I'm going to try to respect, like, okay, but he was here on Saturday, or he was working on Saturday, and his family was here, so I don't know, maybe it won't change things, I don't know. But no, just really appreciate the hard work and all the hours you put in. And where we are right now as a district with our finances and our financial processes that you've put into place, just holding ourselves accountable. We had a financial committee meeting just a few moments ago, well, since 4:30, and we're able to report to the representatives of the board, and Keith was able to take them through each one of those 4 reports, and he'll have a report tonight as well, and just appreciate all the work he has put into place, and I can't celebrate that enough. It's huge. I think this community can be very proud of where we are right now, and it will continue to get better and better. By 26, 27, we'll be able to look back at the audit, and I think we're going to see really good things. So thank you. Those are my celebrations.
I'll echo all the above, because I've worked with you on a couple of those things, and I'll say this employee handbook is complete and very policy compliant, aligns with policy extremely well, and it's very readable, and that's awesome. And Keith, I don't know what we'd do without you right now, to be honest with you. So appreciate everything you're doing. Does any other board members have any celebrations? There is no community comment, so we'll move on to 6.1 board reports, if there's any board reports at this time.
Financial committee meeting, like Marcia said, was today, started at 4:30. Yeah, just continue to see really kind of supernatural progress take place. I'm excited for next month's meeting, however weird that might seem, because it'll be the first set of reports and stuff on a new year with all the cleanup, and doesn't have all the residual still within it. So,
And a new budget
and a new budget
to build on.
right.
Yeah.
And so I'm however weird that is, I'm excited for the financial meeting next month to see all those new fresh reports, or whenever Keith sends them to us. Excited to see those and see all that he's been working on, we've been talking about and stuff, kind of start to come into fruition and be visual, so.
Any other board reports? Next item of business, 6.2, Mr. Yig.
All right, you guys will get used to this. I'm not a very good speaker, so I like to write out my reports and kind of read them, so that way I don't forget things. So just a few things. I got a 4-page report, but it should take me more than about 10 minutes. Basically, on the monthly reports, you guys will see going forward, you should have seen them on this one. You'll see 4 new reports. You'll see the disbursement report, which is a consistent, which you guys have been getting. It shows what we've spent. It's a check register, basically. You'll get an operating statement that also shows our overall financial performance. It's, for lack of better terms, it's a profit and loss. You don't have profit and losses in public funds, but that's basically what it is. You'll see a gross payroll report that'll show how much we're paying our staff every month. You'll have 2 reports. You'll have a classified and a salaried, and because the system generates them that way. And you'll also have a cash report, which shows how much reconciled cash we have on hand. It'll be a month in arrears, but that you'll be able to see. So for like when you should have your book should be for June, we'll post that in July. July will be August, and so forth. Should give you a really full, detailed view of how we're doing. If you guys have any questions on that, please reach out to me for a meeting. I'm sure you guys call, text, email, stop by, whatever. I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody anytime on any of that stuff. So that's the monthly reports. Anybody got any questions on any of that stuff right now?
I would just like to jump in, and we discussed a little bit in finance meeting, but if the salary report is necessary on a monthly basis, I mean, Paul and I didn't feel that had a ton of value, so I don't know that we need to produce that, because we talked about what we need to do as a board and look at W-2s where appropriate, and that's probably that element of that piece. I just maybe wanted some input from the rest of the board, if they had any on that. I mean, I realize it's just punching a button, but
Yeah.
we hope. But
Yeah, it is. It's a very simple report to run.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary for each board meeting.
so you can have discretion there, is what I'm getting at on that. Is
If it's
kind of where I
save you some time and paper and.
Sounds good. Okay. I'll talk to Mrs. Cody about that and see if she'd like to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, thank you guys. Next point that I wanted to address is the activity funds. We've been talking about how we're gonna change some of our procedures. We rolled out some new processes for spending money out of the activity accounts. Now it takes 4 signatures to approve spending in the activity accounts. It starts with the employee or whoever wants to be the purchaser, to the principal, to Mrs. Cody, then to myself, then back, and then they follow the process. So it's gonna really, it's not gonna streamline spending by any means. It's probably gonna take them longer to spend and actually get stuff in, so they're gonna have to plan ahead, which we've had several meetings and emails and things that went out. We've had several conversations about this process, but I think it's really gonna streamline what we're spending on and making sure that it's appropriate and that we're putting money out of the right fund.
Bunch of packages.
Sorry about it, guys.
So anyways, we've received training on that, we're moving forward on that. We've also reviewed all of our activity accounts with the principals, and we're closing, there's a bunch of funds within the activity fund, like there's a football fund and a softball fund and FFA, they're all funds within a fund, right? We're closing about 15 funds at the middle school, about 40 at the high school. Many of these funds haven't been touched in some as many as 10 years. So by cleaning them up, we're making things a lot more simple and accurate. What we're doing is we're taking that unused money and we're putting it back in the general fund, and will be used at the board and superintendent's discretion for things that need to be purchased or used. And all deposits now, for the time being, are going through the district office, so we can keep a closer eye on things, making sure that everything gets allocated to the right account and into the right club or activity. Candy's been working on this for a long time. She's very good at it, and we're in a really good spot moving forward. So as far as activity stuff, I think we've really made some good strides there and put some really good procedures in place.
So can I clarify, when you look at the activity fund report now, there's everything to the penny is accounted for against an activity. So it's broken down by the club or the activity that you're focused on, but there's no money outside of those activities. Like every penny lives in one of those. There's no general account under the activity fund anymore. So it's all accounted for. It's really tight ship. The report's amazing to look at.
Yeah, there's not gonna be any change or miscellaneous, I guess, is a good word too. That's
Yeah.
bad. That in accounting, that's a really bad word for the most part.
So I'll challenge the board as we start looking at these reports, and this one in particular, I think has been in the interest of the community for decades. I think there's low community confidence in where that money has been, and not that it has necessarily been misused, but just don't know. No way of knowing how it's been used. And now we can see where every penny is. So I would say once we get to looking at those reports as a board, the more you can kind of let the community know that we're shoring up things there and share the confidence with the community so that they know we're doing the right thing with finances.
President Chair, may I add something? Also, I did meet with some community leaders. I had heard that were concerned that their funds maybe hadn't been used in the right way. There wasn't a single community leader that I spoke to that had any concerns. They said, no, they did exactly what they said they would do. If you hear of somebody who doesn't feel that way, please let me know so I can talk to them. But every name that has come my way that I've talked to had zero concerns. So funds are good. Mr. Yake has met with lots of people just to make sure everything is accounted for. So if you do hear concerns, like you said, those that have just been sitting and haven't been touched for years and years, those will be gone. Those will be moved to general fund. We'll just hold it there to make it right, make sure all of our counts are 100% correct. And so we feel very confident, but we'll have that holding there just in case. So excited about that, huge.
Yep, I think it's gonna be a great thing. And like I said, and it's a work in progress. So this whole process, we're gonna look at it over the next year, and we're gonna refine it as needed and make sure that it's good. So in a year or two, and it's running, it's smooth and it's great. So continuous change and progress is what we're looking for. Some things I want to share at the year-end balance and the audit preparation is we got some great news. I mean, things are progressing at a really good level. We put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, but things are actually balancing. You guys know a few months ago, some of the accounts were off several $1 million. None of the balance sheets lined up to the audit. Nothing was done. And basically, on a brief breakdown, I'm going to go down by fund here, where we're at. But in the general fund, all of the cash and receivables, which is money owed to us at 6/30, match up and tie out. All of our liabilities, like our accrued summer payroll, is accounted for, and it ties out to our system. Our fund balances, including our table reserves and assigned funds, like the greenhouse. I got with Ms. Cody the other day, and I actually modified just this morning. You haven't seen the journal yet, but I actually put it in there. There was like $100,000 reserved for the greenhouse, but it actually is like $323,000. So I made that adjustment this morning, so it actually balances too. So that's actually accounted for now at 6/30. So that's good.
And can I just add to that? And what he's talking about is the amount that the Farmers Foundation has given our school district. So we wanted to make sure we held that money sacred and away from everything.
Yep. So anyway, as far as the general fund, all of our liabilities and assets completely balance 100% in the general fund. Our food service fund, all of our cash and inventory balances are accurately recorded, and they all balance out to statements and to actual inventories. Our accounts receivable, so food service, it's weird because CD is a little bit behind. So we submitted our April reimbursement and our May reimbursement, and haven't submitted our June reimbursement, but we got our April reimbursement and our May reimbursement in July. So I had to set up receivables on the books for both of those because we had to book the revenues in 24, 25, even though we got the money in 25, 26. You know, it's just a simple thing where we record the cash and have to clean out the receivable in July. We haven't even done June yet because our system's been down. So hopefully we get it in August sometime, you know, so there's still some receivables, but there's been a lot of manipulation. I guess manipulation is a bad word, but a lot of additions, a lot of accounts receivables throughout the funds that we've had to do. One of the things that I want to point out is there was, in the last audit, there was about $160,000 worth of grant money that should have been an account receivable in 23, 24, but it was recorded as revenue in 24, 25, and somehow it was missed when they audited it. So I've had to do some adjustments to the books this year to make that work, because you can't have revenues and grants that don't tie out to the revenues that the state and federal government gives you. So I've had to make adjustments on those. So those have been some pretty big adjustments we've had to make this year. So when the auditor comes in, I just want everybody to be cognizant that there was a few of those entries that I had to make due to the fact that they missed them in the prior year. But we've been going through everything. Every grant ties out district-wide, every fund. There's about 30 of them altogether, probably 25 to 30 of them. Revenue, match expenditures across the board, make sure all that's done, so that's a good thing.
Mr. Yake, also, I just want the board to understand, with all those adjustments that he's talking about, every single one of them, he documents, I sign off on, he talks to the auditor, so he and the auditor have been in communication a lot, so it's not like he's just going in and moving those. There's a whole process he follows with
Yeah,
that, so.
there is. So it's a big win. I mean, the grant revenues matching expenses, that didn't happen last year, didn't happen the year before, but it's gonna happen now. And going forward, that's something we'll make sure that happens at year end every year, so we're gonna be compliant. Grant fund has to equal 0 at the end of the day. I'm at 12 cents. So somehow I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put 12 cents, because it's gotta balance to 0.
12 cents.
It's funny, hundreds of thousands of dollars and we're off 12 cents, but that's where we're at. But we'll clean that up. Pupil activity fund, we just talked about some of the adjustments and changes we have with that moving forward. We're gonna be liquidating some of those funds and activating them, cleaning those out to where they're not functional anymore. I don't know in IB if it's gonna look a whole lot different until next school year, because the way the system's set up, but hopefully it does, but if not, it'll be much cleaner then moving forward. Scholarships not held in trust, all the funds are balanced, all the cash are balanced in the scholarship funds. The child care fund, all the payroll liabilities are accounted for, and those accounts are balanced as of 6/30. The bond fund, the cash, the investments, and the tax receivable for the rest of the year all balance out to the penny, so we're good there. There's a tax receivable in the general fund and in the bond fund, and basically what that is, you know, you collect a certain amount of tax from January, you know, you do your mill levy certification in November, and then you collect your tax for the next year on that amount. And you collect a certain amount from January through June, which is typically, it's a high level, it's like 95% of your money, or something like that. And then you've got like 5% to collect for the rest of the 6 months, when you have to go assess that as a receivable and pull it back into June 30, just like you have to with all the rest of that. That's something I went ahead and left last year's on there right now, so those are two of the things I haven't reconciled, because that's one of the things that the auditor thinks I'm off by 1 penny. He's gonna make me do an adjustment anyway, so I would just let the auditor look at those numbers. So that's something we're gonna have to adjust, but we're gonna be pretty close on those as well. This other scholarship fund, we have a scholarship not held in trust, and we just have a scholarship fund. The other one has 3 cash accounts too, and they all balance right to the penny as well. So all of our cash, with the exception of our high school activity and our middle school activity, all balance to the penny, and I'm probably gonna work on those tomorrow. Usually, you know, Miss Soto works, or is it Miss Soto, is that right? Works on those, but she's been out on break, and I'm just a little over anxious to get a balance, so I might work on that tomorrow and get those done. Looking ahead, just a few things here. I'm gonna be working with the software rep on Wednesday, this is our telltale, we gotta do a roll forward, so I gotta take my number on balance sheets at June 30th, and if everything goes as planned, we're gonna roll it forward, and those are gonna be my new balances at July 1st. So if that works, I think we're going in the right direction. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be really upset. So, we'll figure that out on Wednesday. You know, it's taken a lot of long nights and weekends and stuff to get here, and I'm really proud of the progress that we've all made. I mean, it's been a lot. We still have areas to improve, internal processes, still need more work, but we're identifying what needs to be fixed, simplified, or removed every day. So my plan is to finish the 24-25 audit in October, make the adjustments necessary, move on, finish out this year. There's certain things for this year. Clean up and stabilize our systems during the 25-26 year. And as you guys remember, when we did the budget, I built this budget off of a really highly, very thought out, educated guess. So there's gonna be some things in this year's budget that I'm sure I'm gonna be short on, and there's some things I'm sure I'll be over on, you know, but you know, hopefully by the end of this year, mid-year, we can start adjusting those and getting a better touch. By the time the next year's rolls around, I think we'll have a lot better shape. I think we're gonna be great, but I think it's gonna be really, really, really good the next year. My goal for that's to do a successful audit the following year, make sure everything's refined for 26-27, and by 27-28, which is a couple of years, like I told Miss Cody today, we should be running like a brand new Corvette by that point. You know, everything should be in place, everything should be refined. That would give us 2 years to really get everything dialed in. And the reason it's taken so long is we want to make sure it's perfect, because, you know, if I get hit by a bus and the next person comes in, I mean, I want everything in place, you know, for the next 30 years, you know, unless the board wants to change it. I mean, I want a smooth run operation, so that's our goal. Just a few other updates, and then I'll finish up here. Just some things that we're looking at to go forward in the future, and some of this stuff Miss Cody's already touched on. She might touch on tonight, so if I do, don't hurt me. But My School Bucks, we're still looking to integrate that program. We're waiting on a bank confirmation, and then we're gonna be able to, you know, hopefully get it integrated and start testing with a few clubs. Once we know it's working, we'll train the staff and community members and roll it out to everybody, you know, piece by piece. Kind of test it on a few things first. So hopefully we can get going on that in the next few short weeks. Salary schedules, that's one of the things me and Ms. Cook have been talking about that we need to adjust, is adjusting potentially some job titles and aligning staff more accurately to our salary schedules. Also looking at some administrator pay and some things like that make sure that we're competitive and make sure that people stay and they do a great job for Brush and always do what's best for kids, right? We want the best staff we possibly can have, and to retain that, and to retain them for that. We've been talking to the NOCO Foundation. It's a group to help manage our scholarships. They can invest the funds and keep them going longer term, and possibly take some of the pressure off of our balance sheets and some of our stuff that we're doing. Plus, when the money comes off of comes out of a public, comes out of the school and it goes to a private entity, they have different rules as far as investing, so they can probably get a little bit more, you know, on the dollar. So maybe sustainability might be a little bit longer on some of these grants, you know, looking down the road on some of these bigger grants. So that's something that we're looking at as well. How I left it today is I asked them to put together a visual spreadsheet that basically, you know, shows the grants, what their fee looks like, what their anticipated revenue looks like, and kind of how they're looking to maintain those grants. They will also let us utilize our committees, our people to select the grants. It's not like they're gonna just take it over and run it. I mean, it's still gonna be a lot of people in Brush will still have the option to be part of those committees and, you know, select the people who get the grants. So a lot of good things coming there, hopefully. And they're really nice people on top of that. So Mrs. Cody brought the one gentleman in, John, and he's just a wonderful fella. So CD 40 transportation report. This is a huge, complex report we have to file every year. It's going to take a lot of work. It brings in over $100,000 in funding. I'm going to be working closely with Joe and his team over the next few weeks to complete this. I think it's due by like mid-September. You have to account for every mile of every bus for the whole year, and it's got to be route, activity, special ed, maintenance, alternative miles. I mean, it's just crazy the way you got to break this out. And then you've got to have everything cost contained too, by different cost points and broke out separately. It's a huge, massive report you got to do every year. As a matter of fact, I've been doing this for, you know, almost 20 years, and I got an email from the lady that I've been doing this with for all these years, and she wants to have a meeting with me because I guess it didn't go very well here last year. So she wants to have a meeting with me next week to go over the procedures, because she has to, even though we've done it. She knows I know, but we're gonna work on that. We're gonna get that done hopefully soon and get that submitted. That'll be a huge monkey off my back when that one's done. Little Beats Preschool, we're collecting financial data now, and we'll bring the first meaningful report in September, once we have a full month of data. You know, expenditures over revenues, you guys can kind of see where we're at, like we discussed. That's something on the horizon as well. And then PTAC, the Parent Teacher Advisory Committee, we're working to have meetings with the PTACs, hopefully get meetings set up with them soon to help them become fully compliant. I'm sure they have their own 501c3, but we need to make sure that they're ready to go, and then hopefully be able to hand off the funds on our books off to them. There's different rules and things that they have to follow if they can handle their own funds. I'm willing to sit down and make sure they have financial integrity to their books and stuff like that, make sure they have, you know, dual signer and just the rules, and I'll sit down and go over that with them if they need it, so.
Does everybody know what we're talking about with PTAC? Like why he's even talking about it? Can you just start over with PTAC and
The PTAC is, you know, some people call it, you know, PTSA, it's a parent teacher organization, and they do fundraising, and they keep their, typically most places what they do is they have their own entity. It's kind of like a booster company, anything else, they're a 501c3, and they keep a set of books, and they can buy stuff for the school, and they can support teachers, and they can support education, and they're just a good supplemental, really group of people that can do things. They're right now, currently, their money is sitting in our books, and we're custodians of their funds. And that's not necessarily the right way to go. So I'm pretty insistent, if we can, to get those money off of our books and let them take it back, and they can control it. And there's rules, and there's things that we can't do with them on our books, and it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot better to get them off.
So it's like being a fiduciary of a fiduciary.
That's it.
In a sense, and I don't know if that's
But
right.
also,
The accountability pieces.
if we're holding the money, then all the procurement procedures and policies have to be followed, right? And so if they are their own entity, they can decide on how they spend their money.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just a lot cleaner if PTAC is outside of school
Sure.
district funds.
That's right. Really, last thing is just my final thoughts. Like I said, thank you again for your support and patience. You know, we've came really a long ways in the last 3 months. I think we're on a great path forward. I'm really proud of the team and excited where we're heading. So we're gonna try to keep doing good work and keep moving. So
Okay.
thank you. That's my report.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
Mrs. Cody? You're up.
Alright, so superintendent's report, let me pull it up here. You also have it in your, in board books.
That's something I was going for that.
Sounds good, thank you for being here. Alright,
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
You too, thank you.
So the governance team norms, I just want to make sure that those are on our forefront. It's something that you created a year ago. I want to make sure that we just continue to think through those and look at those and keep them front and center. So you may just take a moment to reference those, and I'll grab my superintendent's report from here. If you can't see the link in board books, I also just shared my superintendent's report with you through email, so just if you want to click on that link either way. All right. So norms are something that we are focusing on. We have admin norms, and we also just created district office norms. It's just to say, hey, what works well when you work with colleagues and when we collaborate and work together, and what doesn't, and so just to make sure that we're functioning healthily as a body. So I wanted to put that one forward. A few highlights from my superintendent's report. One is that tonight an action item is for you to select a delegate for CASB. So it'll need to be somebody that will be attending CASB in December. Also, the class policy summit is August 23rd. I know that President Chard is attending. If you would like to attend, just let Mrs. Smith or myself know, and we can get you registered for that. And the next one is the Beat Digger Leadership Academy. We now have a new date. That's August 13th. And with that, that will be a night that candidates will be able to sign for the affidavit, sign the letter of intent, and pick up their petitions. And so encourage potential board members to attend that evening. And we were just wondering, are the same, Lacey, are you still, Mascara, are you still
I'm
able
fine
to
with
be
that.
there that night? Mr. Miller, are you able to be there on that evening too, on August 13th?
It's a Wednesday.
Awesome.
That's the same
Awesome.
night as the CASB regional meeting.
So it just happens to be the night that is free on our calendar, so if that ends up working. There's also the IGA for the Washington and Morgan counties in the election. That is an action item as well. That just is common. It happens with every election. It's just the agreement with each of the counties. All right, the last little piece where it talks about next board meeting, you'll see August 4th is when we have our board work session. I would ask that we have a special board meeting. It'll be quick, just to do some personnel on that. And I also will have a question about selecting board representatives for the interview committee for the latest RFQP. Okay? Any questions on any of that? On the governance piece.
What time did you say for the Leadership Academy? I'm
It'll be at
sorry.
5:30.
Okay.
5:30. All right, moving on to facilities. An action item tonight is that Thompson Excel easement. I did reach out to NV5 and G2. They said it would not be a problem, so we can move forward with that if you so choose. The Daniels Drainage Project, that was something that was requested by some board members to say, hey, we need to make sure we're meeting the needs of the community and we take care of this. So we did release an RFP. That is due August 1st, so we should have an update on that during the August 4th work session. We also, as you know, have the RFQP out for the architect, engineer, and professionals, professional services. That is due August 8th. So we want to have the selection for that on August 18th, which is the next board meeting. So on August 4th, during that work session, I'll need the board to decide if you want the previous representatives to be on that interview committee, if you want the entire board to interview those candidates for the architect, engineer, professional services. That's just something to consider, is who you want to interview them. There's potential depending on how the finalists land. We don't know who the finalists will be until we have those proposals. But do know that some of the people that have shown interest are people that you've already interviewed. So just something to be mindful of. The mandatory site walk is tomorrow morning at 9:30. Mr. Lorenzini will be taking them to go inspect the roofs and everything, to go see those. Another piece is prairie dogs. Prairie dogs are not our friends. And so, it's supposed to be a little bit funny, but they are not. So I have had conversations with several people from the city of Brush. Really appreciate the conversations and the engagement with that. I've talked to Dale, and now I've been talking with Patrick Hessler. We are going to have a joint community meeting on July 30th. It's a Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. So same time, think about 5:30 for Beat Digger Leadership Academy, 5:30 for Prairie Dogs. That is for any property owners that in the Brush community that are challenged with prairie dogs. Brush School District being one of them. We think there's up to 34, maybe more, property owners that have prairie dogs on them. Mr. Hessler was looking at that. Yes, Mr. Miller?
What time did you say that meeting was?
5:30
In the evening?
in the evening.
That's like the biggest community
Yeah.
event of the year.
Oh,
The steak
it's
fry.
fair. What is it?
That's the steak fry.
Steak fry, okay.
Fair. Just.
We will find a new time because I'm going to
I
the
don't know how
steak
much
fry.
involvement
So
you
this
get
was,
there.
this was before when I thought the fair was in August, I bet. Because I was
Okay.
thinking the fair was gonna be first week in August, and
It usually is.
So
Yeah.
we'll get that adjusted and I will put communication out.
Okay.
The DOW, prior to changing the date as a moment ago, said they are going to come as well. They're willing to respond to say, this is what you can and cannot do about prairie dogs. So we have to do something though. I don't know if you've looked out across this way. We also noticed there's 5.
There's one by the sprinkler, like when I was leaving the other
Yeah.
night, they were digging right next, it's
We-
not good for our stuff.
We need to
so,
address it,
yeah,
so.
exactly.
And I think, there's several. I've been talking to a couple of landowners, business owners on this street and so we just need to address that.
Yeah.
All right, and I will provide a new date, new time coming soon. Look for
The
that
work
tomorrow.
session, I'm sorry, I was
Right,
trying to get it in my calendar and I can't.
Work
Fourth.
session August
5:30?
4th,
5:30?
6 o'clock.
Okay, that's what I need, thank you.
Great questions. All right, any question about facilities? There's a lot I could talk about facilities, but that was where I left it tonight, unless you have questions. Those are the biggies. Finances. The first one being little beats. So we're continuing to track expenditures and revenues, just like Mr. Yates said. We're looking like with shutting down that Friday, we're about right where we need to be, right around $200,000, subsidizing about $200,000 is what we're projecting still right now. And continuing to engage in conversations, what do we do, right? This is something that's, I think, near and dear to everyone's heart. You were instrumental in starting a childcare. You believe in it. A lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of money has gone into the childcare. It's a high quality service too. We provide a great childcare. So I know that it's kept a lot of us up at nights thinking about it closing. So Brush stakeholders, this was on the agenda at our June Brush stakeholders meeting about what do we do? And we are fortunate there's a lot of leaders that also share the same sentiments and care a lot about this child care. And from that Brush stakeholders group, we created a subcommittee. And on that subcommittee were several community leaders, not just from Brush, but also Morgan County. So we also had Amy Duncan, who's our licensing specialist for our area from the state. We had Jody Walker, Carrie Brown, who is the early childhood director, Tyler Purvis for the city. So just talking about, okay, what do we do next? From that, I'll just fast forward. I reached out to Rosie Evans. I was connected with her by one of those entities, one of those people. And last Friday, she allowed me and took me on a tour of Rosie Evans' early childhood centers. And I'll tell you, I was very impressed. She does a phenomenal job. Her and her team, and I know her and her husband, she was telling me, started it. Incredible. They do a great, great job. And so I didn't get on my knees and beg, but I did ask her and said, would you be interested in taking this on? Would you consider it? And she's considering it. I'm hoping it will go from a consideration to a yes, if it's as my recommendation to all of you. I've invited her to our August 4th board work session so she can talk to you a little bit about what that looks like. Right now she has a partnership with the hospital in Fort Morgan, and I think we could mirror their partnership with us. So how they do their MOU, their lease, how they are able to provide that reduced tuition for children of employees. I think there's a lot, and I think it would be I think she knows how to run childcare too, right? And she wouldn't have to pay things like para like we have to. I think there's lots of things that just have benefits if she would choose to take this on. So if you're okay, we'll have Mrs. Evans at the August 4th board work session.
Like that.
Again, just appreciate her time. She gave her Friday morning to me and let me ask her lots of questions. So appreciated that, and all the staff that allowed me to visit. Next, on the next page is the Woodland Bus Stop MOU. I've already brought that up to you before. That is an action item for tonight. Also on the on your agenda for an action item is the MOU for the counseling services. That is for Zoe Sowers. She's replacing Cassie Potts, was our tier 3, we call it, intensive intervention needs for counseling. And Cassie Potts is no longer servicing our students, so Zoe Sowers has agreed to take that on, so that's that MOU. The next piece is the 25-26 breakfast and lunch prices, and that is an action item as well. $2.40 for adult breakfast, $4.85 for adult lunch, and $2 for that second lunch for those students who need that second lunch.
Is that a change from last year?
Really has remained static.
Okay.
It's something you could, but right now our fund balance and food service is okay. And that covers the cost, which is what we need to do. Any questions on finances before I move into instruction? Already celebrated our admin team and the work that's going on there, so that's huge. I love and I'm so grateful that we have 100% of our instructional admin team back and we're starting year 2. I'm ecstatic. I think we have a great team and I think we're going to do good things for students in the coming year. They're just a great group of people who care a lot about students. So the first thing under the instruction portion of my report are the handbooks. We did determine that we needed to make a few revisions to athletic handbooks. You'll see that. And then the second thing is the employee handbook, which I referenced a moment ago. And again, thank you to the district office staff that worked so hard on that. They did a great job. Another action item is the Falcon Aero Lab program MOU. There's actually 2 MOUs, one for public school students and one for homeschool students. If you recall, Debbie Castle was here and she gave you a report and I've talked about it. So if you have any questions, feel free. The next is the personnel report. We do have an additional resignation since I submitted that to you last Friday. That would be Sarah Kunkel. She was a sped para at Beaver Valley. She was moving over to a 3rd grade teaching position, so that position will be opening at Beaver Valley, or is open now. Also, the updated job descriptions. That has been a focus for the past year. We just needed to get all our job descriptions updated. This is really at the director level. So I wanted to make sure the directors are all set. We met on those at the beginning and the middle and the end of the year, along with all the district office staff, to make sure we just had clarity about roles. What is it that everybody is doing and what's different from maybe Mrs. Redden's job from Mrs. Smith's job, right? Where do they overlap and where are they different? So those are also an action item for you to consider tonight as well. Anything with personnel? Last thing on my report are the policies. You have 3 policies for final reading. Those were all just little tweaks just to make sure they aligned with practice or current information. And President Chard, that is all I have.
Does anyone have any questions? Very good. Next item of business, 8.1, CASB delegate representative. Is there a motion for 8.1?
Has anybody expressed interest in being a rep?
Not explicitly.
That requires attendance at the regional meetings as well?
No, not at the regional,
Just at convention?
just at the December convention.
And do we have to declare that? Do we have a timeline to declare that?
You don't, we just need it, I'm not sure if there's a specific date, but we will eventually have to declare it prior to that convention. So you could think about it, table it for,
It's a little too far out for me to know if I'm gonna be able to go or not. Go to farm sale that Monday or something.
Do we have, I guess the other question is, do we have to declare an individual or just say, yes, we want a spot?
we will need to declare an individual because there's only, the delegate can vote.
Okay.
If you want that person to vote.
And you receive a lot of preliminary, like, cleanup information and stuff.
And normally we discuss that like at a board meeting prior to.
Right. And let that person know what our wishes are for them to vote.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done it in a few years, so.
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be important to have somebody do it.
I agree.
I don't think we've had a delegate in a while.
Well, we haven't been a member of CASB.
We're a member.
We had
Couple
one the
years,
last
yeah,
time.
and I think, yeah, I don't remember if if we
I
had
was-
any
I was the
since
delegate
Diane.
last year,
Did she?
And Diane was usually doing it for
Yeah.
us, so.
Yeah, she was good.
She was great.
Person in charge, something that could be considered is if you wanted to select somebody tonight, and the board, you could select somebody tonight and at the reorganization meeting in November after the election, you could choose to select somebody else.
Would that be close enough?
Well, I was just thinking registration for that's gotta be prior to that.
Well, registration's already taken place for the conference or the convention. I'm not sure the date. I could get back to you on the date for the delegate. And I apologize, I don't have that date.
6 months.
Well, if we want to table it there, we just move on because there's no motion. So next item of business, 8.2, election IGA from Morgan and Washington counties.
I move to approve the IGAs for the November 4th, 2025 election with Morgan and Washington counties.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the IGAs for the November 4th, 2025 election with Morgan and Washington counties. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchemmer.
Aye.
Mr. Charter.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.3, TPS easement. Is there a motion for 8.3?
I move to approve the TPS easement as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the TPS easement as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchemmer. Mr. Charter.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.4, Woodland Bus Stop MOU.
I move to approve the Woodland Bus Stop MOU as presented.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the Woodland Bus Stop MOU as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchemmer.
Aye.
Mr. Charter.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.5, MOU for counseling services.
I move to approve the Braveheart Healing LLC MOU for Brush School District for 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Braveheart Healing LLC MOU for Brush School District for 2025-2026 school year. Is there any debate?
Has legal reviewed this MOU?
Yes.
Any other debate? There's no further debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchemmer.
Aye.
Mr. Charter.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.6, 2025-2026 breakfast and lunch meal prices.
I move to approve the 25-26 meal prices as $2.40 for adult breakfast, $4.85 for an adult lunch, and $2 for a student's second lunch.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 25-26 meal prices as $2.40 for adult breakfast, $4.85 for an adult lunch, and $2 for a student's second lunch. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchemmer.
Aye.
Mr. Charter.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.7, Brush School District Employee and Brush Secondary Campus Athletic Handbook.
Move to approve BSD employee and BSC athletic handbooks as presented.
Second.
It's So moved and seconded to approve the BSD employee and BSC athletic handbooks as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.8, Falcon Aero Lab MOUs.
I move to approve the Falcon Airlab MOU as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Falcon Aero Lab MOU as presented. Is there any debate?
Has it been reviewed? Ellie?
Yes.
Any further debate? There's no further debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item of business, 8.9, Personnel Report.
I move to approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Personnel Report as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye, motion passes. Next item of business, 8.10, substitute teachers, 2025-2026 substitute teachers.
I move to approve the 2025-2026 list of substitutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2025-2026 list of substitutes. Is there any debate?
Am I good here or not?
Just abstain.
Just abstain or present?
Vote present.
Okay.
Any other debate? There's no further debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Present.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye, motion passes. Next item of business, 8.11, job descriptions. Is there a motion for?
I move to approve the job descriptions as presented.
Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the job descriptions as presented. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye, motion passes. Next item of business, 8.12, policies.
I move for policies AC-E-1, GCBA-E, and GCBA-R be granted for final approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to, for policies AC-E-1, GCBA-E, and GCBA-R be granted final approval. Is there any debate? There is no debate. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Garrett.
Aye.
Mrs. Hanson.
Aye.
Mr. Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Mortensen.
Aye.
Mr. Tadalini.
Aye.
Mr. Winchhammer.
Aye.
Mr. Chart.
Aye, motion passes. So information items, work session Monday, August 4th at 6 PM here. Couple things we talked about already. We'll decide on who or how we're gonna interview the architect engineer for the roof repair RFQP. And then, hopefully Mrs. Evans will be here for childcare. Is there anything else that you know that?
There's a couple things, but I don't wanna
Okay.
state for sure.
Is there anybody, anything that anybody wants to have on that work session? Okay, Okay, then the next regular board meeting would be August 18th. We will have a short special meeting on August 4th to clean up some business stuff too. But that'll be world record short. August 18th is our next regular board meeting. And then August 13th is the Beediger Leadership Academy here at 5:30. Do you have any clarifications
No?
from tonight?
That's perfect.
Anyone
Totally
else?
wait till the end, times are that way.
Are we still, what about the tour of Pawnee? Is that still a go? Or?
That's August 15th. Let me double check. Is that right?
Did you get an invite for that on your email?
Yeah, I never click on them. Tell me
Okay.
It gets closer though, you know what I mean?
Okay, I just want to make sure that you did.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. August 15th. And I'll be sharing more information as it gets closer. There's like, you have to sign a waiver, sign your life away. Just kidding.
So we discussed that at the August 4th meeting?
Anything you heard tonight that any board members feel we need to be addressed in policy? Or added to a future meeting? Very good. No further business. Meeting is adjourned.
Really awesome.
Under an hour, look at that, Derek.
You didn't have to interview people or have storm damage or any of that,
do
so we're
chores
good. It's those interviews.
They're
those
not
hard
watching the
interviews are
camera.
what
You
took
could just go
forever.
to the bar
Can't blame
for a
them.
while.